Bring a big smile. And left side. And smiles there. Left side,
Justice all the way left! Crazy over your left shoulder!
It's nice to be able to go around and feel good about a project, feel good that it's being seen, feel good that it's like, it's saying nice things about family and working together and that it has a spirit to it that for me reminds me of a film of old or like a Goonies or watching it gives me, I've seen it now, I've never watched my films and I've seen this film maybe 5 or 6 times because it's so much fun to watch with an audience. First of all, my character Egan is kind of like the audience surrogate. He's a guy that's in the world but is also kind of aware of how difficult and weird and bizarre it is. This film has a lot to do with joy and kind of being present in the moment. And so I think the best thing that I could do would, try to be light on my feet and kind of ready for whatever the boys would throw at me on a given day. The films I keep on comparing to are like Princess Bride or Goonies or Neverending Story or Legend or all these films from the 80s. And I don't know anything about dragons, and I don't know much about Dungeons & Dragons, at least less than some of my compatriots in the film. And it's just it's a good time. It's a roller coaster. You don't have any time to figure out, try to figure out all of the Easter eggs that are aplenty in this that will appeal to fans.
I am a fan of D&D, so I was, super happy that this ended up being a good movie for me, not even as a person in the movie. So it was, it was great. I always get super lucky. I feel like I have such a good, every single person I've worked with, especially in ensemble groups, you end up getting along really well, and especially with this group. These people are just, I feel like they're so funny in their own unique ways, which really shows on camera.
Because the characters are relatable, they're grounded. John and Jonathan know how to give you sincerity throughout the humor. The movie's obviously a comedy, adventure, heist, fantasy movie, but there's so much heart to it that I think like if you know nothing, you're still gonna have a good time. I think we're like a real eclectic group of people, and just like our characters were a bunch of misfits, and it's a weird blend that shouldn't work but somehow does. Like I really love these guys, and I hope we get to do a sequel because I would love to do another movie with them. I love this world. I've seen the film 3 times now. It's gonna be my 4th time seeing it, and there's just something about it. Like I know I'm biased, but like not even the fact that I'm in the movie. I just enjoy being with these characters and in this world. And so I really hope I get to do it again. It was really fun.
Like it has everything that you could want from a film, and this is the thing, like I'm not a D&D player. I still haven't played. I've done my research, don't get me wrong, so I am more familiar with the world than I was when I started. But for me too, like I think that's the beautiful thing about fantasy, and I think what they've managed to do is they've managed to combine humor with action, with heart. Like there's a real emotional core at it, and I think it's super relatable, and I think the characters are so diverse, and that's so representative of the world and society that we live in. So I think there's something really accessible about it as a film. It's always such an honor and privilege when you're part of a project and you have an amazing time making it, and you can only hope that people gain some percentage of your joy from watching it as you did making it. And so to have had such a unanimously like wonderful reaction to it. Just, it feels like a job done well, and I'm so glad that I'm able to share the joy that I had making it with people who are now watching it.
I always look on the dark side of life. I assume no one's going to turn up, neither the D&D hardcore nor the general public, but it turns out they both like it. I try and love my character. Even though he might not seem very nice, it's important that I love him and know why he's the way he is. And I write these long backstories about, the difficult time he had with his mother. None of that appears on the screen, but it helps me. We needed to please people who really love this game and who feel very territorial and protective about it. And I think the directors did that very well, the writers, because they genuinely love the game as well. But you've got to keep at least half an eye on the rest of the public. And I am their representative, because I've never played the game. I still know nothing about it. And I love the film. And I judged the script when I first read it purely on the basis of does this work? And it really works.
The magic of this is that John and Jonathan, our directors, are as much fans of movies as they are of Dungeons & Dragons. They play the game, they care about the game, they care about the players, but they deeply, deeply care about movies and the types of movies that we don't make anymore. 80s and 90s action-adventure movies. There's an innocence to the movie we don't see anymore. We've done our best to create a cynicism-free space where you can kind of just come in and enjoy yourself with your friends the same way you do when you play the game or when you are playful anywhere in your life. That's our goal. It was wonderful. It was a privilege. It's an ensemble cast, so none of the pieces work without the other pieces, but it's also very much about unpredictable chemistry. You said it's the chemistry of the cast. None of us could predict what kind of chemistry we'd have, and I think at the moment we still couldn't predict what kind of chemistry we have. It's like we're unstable atoms that meet in a different way every take. And the joy of that is that you don't know what's coming at you, and the challenge of that is you have no idea what's coming at you. And so to keep the good takes, the main challenge is just not to laugh all the way through them. If we do something good, we kind of half the time we have to do it again. So oh, that was great, but we all cracked up laughing. First thing we did before we filmed anything was we got together as a cast, played a big game of Dungeons & Dragons. We played as our characters. It was thoroughly chaotic, utterly unpredictable, and very, very fun and funny. And that's the spirit that we took into making the film. It is such a good feeling to be able to deliver something that's making people feel good. And that's what's so rare in the cinema today, and to be a part of that is a privilege.
I couldn't be more pumped. Because this has been such a long road for us, and we're so proud of this movie, and to be able to finally show it to people who are fans and non-fans alike and get the reception that we've been getting so far, it's exactly what we had been hoping for.
It's weird on Twitter when nobody has anything negative to say. That's a really strange thing.
It can't require reading before you go into it. So while we really tried to capture the spirit of gameplay with this thing, that fun kind of irreverence and loose storytelling where you don't really know what's going to happen, we also knew that it just had to stand on its own and not just operate as a D&D movie, but a movie in and of itself. Chris Pine is a master. He really is, because he can juggle both the comedic side of things and the dramatic in a way that I don't know if any other movie star these days can.
But he's not easy on the eyes. That's the one drawback.
Yeah. It required a lot of deep faking to get him to look the way he does.